How to keep your self-worth. When the world treats you as old, you can spend 40 or 50 years working, raising children, paying bills, surviving losses, and taking care of everyone around you, and still reach retirement feeling as though you no longer matter. Not because you suddenly lost your value, but because the world stopped reflecting that value back to you. People begin talking past you. A doctor may speak to your adult child instead of speaking directly to you. A clerk calls you sweetie. Younger people may assume you cannot understand technology, and if you apply for a job, an employer may look at your age and wonder whether your back will go out, whether you will get sick, or whether you will retire 6 months after they train you. Ageism is real. The World Health Organization reports that approximately 1 out of every 2 people worldwide holds ageist attitudes, and that ageism is associated with poorer physical and mental health, social isolation, reduced quality of life, and earlier death. So, how do you maintain your self-worth in a world that increasingly treats you as old? First, we need to understand something important. Self-worth and confidence are not exactly the same thing. Confidence says, I believe I can do this. Self-worth says, whether I succeed or fail at this, I am still a person of value. That distinction becomes more important as we age, because some of the things we once did easily may become harder. We may not move as quickly. We may need more time to learn a new phone or computer program. We may have physical limitations. We may occasionally need help. If your self-worth depends entirely on being fast, strong, independent, productive, or needed by everyone, aging can feel like a series of personal defeats. But needing help does not make you helpless. Moving more slowly does not make you incompetent. And retiring from your job does not mean retiring from your value as a human being. I spent more than 40 years as a registered nurse. For years, people needed my judgment, my experience, and my ability to remain calm when something went wrong. Retirement ended the position, but it did not erase the qualities I developed while doing that work. A job title is one place where your value can be expressed, but it really never was the source of your value. That is the first way we protect our self-worth. We separate who we are from the role we used to perform. You may no longer be the nurse, the manager, the teacher, the provider, the mechanic, or the person everybody called when something broke. But the patience, courage, knowledge, judgment, and discipline you developed are still yours. You have to find new places to use them. The second thing is to stop using other people's attention as a measurement of your worth. We live in a culture that is fascinated with youth. Advertising chases younger consumers. Entertainment celebrates young faces. Workplaces talk about energy, fresh thinking, and being a cultural fit. Sometimes those are simply polite ways of saying, we want somebody younger. Research using more than 40,000 fictitious job applications found real age discrimination in hiring, particularly against older women. And in a 2026 AARP survey, about 2/3 of workers age 50 and older said they had seen or personally experienced age discrimination in the workplace. So if you have struggled to get an interview after 50 or 60, you should not automatically conclude that you have nothing left to offer. You may be encountering somebody else's assumptions. When you are rejected, ask yourself, is this useful information about me, or is this evidence of somebody else's prejudice? If it is useful feedback, use it, update your skills, improve your resume, practice the interview, learn the program they expect you to know. But if it is a stereotype, return it to its owner. Do not carry it home and turn it into your identity. The third thing is to stop participating in your own ageism. Listen to the things you say about yourself. I'm too old to learn that. Nobody wants to see someone my age doing this. People my age don't understand technology. It is too late for me to change. We hear negative messages about aging throughout our lives. Eventually, we become the older people those messages we're talking about, and we may begin repeating them to ourselves. Researchers call this the internalization or embodiment of age stereotypes. Those beliefs can influence our self-image, behavior, performance, and even health. Sometimes age creates genuine limitations. But harder is not the same as impossible. Slower is not the same as incapable. Different is not the same as inferior. Instead of saying, "I'm too old," ask, "What would make this possible for me now?" Maybe you need larger print. Maybe you need a lighter guitar, a different exercise, more recovery time, a hearing aid, or someone patient enough to explain the technology without making you feel stupid. Adaptation is not defeat. Adaptation is intelligence. The fourth way to protect your self-worth is to keep accumulating current evidence that you are capable. Research suggests that the apparent decline in self-esteem later in life is connected less to age alone than to changes in health, income, employment, relationships, and social circumstances. Memories of past accomplishments are important, but your mind also needs evidence from today. Learn 3 guitar chords, begin an exercise program appropriate for your body, take a class, start a garden, make a video, repair something, plan a trip, learn one feature on your phone that has been frustrating you, make the phone call you have been avoiding. The goal is not to prove that you are still 30. The goal is to discover what you can do at the age you are now. Confidence grows when you make yourself a promise, take a manageable action, and then see yourself follow through. A 25 systematic review found that physical activity can improve self-esteem in older adults, along with mood, sleep, and perceived health. The fifth thing is to maintain relationships in which you contribute. Older people need more than people who check on them. We need relationships in which we are allowed to give as well as receive. Teach someone, mentor a younger person, volunteer, listen to someone who needs to be heard, share a skill, help solve a problem, pass along a family story, make something useful or beautiful. This is not because you have to earn the right to exist by remaining productive. It is because contribution reminds you that you are still connected to the world around you. The World Health Organization identifies meaningful social activity, education, creative groups, community involvement, and volunteering as ways to improve life satisfaction and mental health and reduce depressive symptoms in older adults. And if you have physical limitations, contribution does not have to be physical. Your attention, experience, humor, encouragement, and presence can matter enormously to another person. The sixth thing is to protect your ability to make decisions. There may come a time when you need assistance. That does not mean other people should automatically take control of your life. You can say, "Please ask before doing that for me." You can say, "I would like the doctor to explain that directly to me." You can say, "I may need help, but I still want to be part of the decision." And sometimes you may need to say, "I haven't finished speaking." Accepting help does not require surrendering your adulthood. Every time you calmly defend your right to participate in your own life, you reinforce your own dignity. The seventh thing is to grieve what you have actually lost without turning that loss into shame. Aging does involve loss. We may lose people we love. We may lose a career, physical strength, appearance, income, independence, or the future we once imagined. Maintaining self-worth does not mean pretending none of that hurts. Grief says something important has changed. Shame says, because it changed, I am no longer important. Those are not the same thing. You are allowed to mourn what is gone while still building a meaningful life with what remains. Bereavement, reduced income, loss of purpose after retirement, declining function, loneliness, and social isolation are all recognized threats to mental health in later life. Finally, speak to yourself honestly and compassionately. A 25 systematic review found that self-compassion education for older adults was associated with improved psychological well-being and reductions in distress, anxiety, and avoidance. You do not have to stand in front of a mirror and pretend that you are young, perfect, or unstoppable. Your mind probably will not believe that anyway. Try something more truthful. I have limitations, but I am not only my limitations. I am allowed to be a beginner. I still have something to contribute. My pace may have changed, but my life is not over. And perhaps most importantly, I do not have to be young for my life to have value. When I was growing up, we were expected to show older people a certain level of respect. It was not a perfect world, and older people were not always treated well. But today, it can feel as though our culture celebrates the idea of living longer while devaluing the people who actually succeed at it. We cannot control every employer, every advertisement, every dismissive young person, or every ageist assumption, but we can refuse to let those voices become our inner voice. So here is one practical step for this week. Listen for the most ageist thing you routinely say to yourself. Write it down, then ask 2 questions. Is this a proven fact about me? And if it is a real limitation, what adaptation would allow me to move forward anyway? The world may look at your age and decide that it already knows your story. Let it be wrong. Keep learning. Keep contributing. Keep making decisions. Keep speaking when people talk over you. And do not waste the years you have left auditioning for your own humanity. Your value is not determined by how successfully you can disguise your age. Growing older may change what you can do, how quickly you can do it, and how the world responds to you. But it does not give the world the right to decide what you are worth. Please use the companion workbook linked in the description to put these ideas into practice. It uses research-informed, cognitive behavioral, self-compassion, behavioral activation, and life review exercises. This workbook is educational only. It is not therapy or a substitute for professional care. If you are struggling with persistent depression, hopelessness, or thoughts of suicide, please seek professional help. In the United States, call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline for immediate support. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more practical conversations about aging well and living with purpose after 60. I'm Jonesy, and thanks for spending this time with me.